Alright, so our next trade is from December 3rd. What we see here on the left is price ranging, and then we see strong big bodied blue candles which shows bullish intent. But remember, intent is not a confirmation. What we would like to see is a clean break of structure on either side. Once that happens, we'll go ahead and mark our zone using our last opposing candle, and then we will wait for retest. So this becomes our structural high and this becomes our structural low. We will not do anything in between this range. Let's play this chart and see what happens. So if I extend this line, we see a clean break of structure. I'm not going to chase this price after the displacement. This break of structure gives me my bullish validation, and very important, we are not going to chase price after this bullish displacement. And as per our rules, we are going to go ahead and mark our demand zone using the last opposing candle. Now I'm sure you can easily identify our last opposing candle. So we'll go ahead and mark our demand zone using this last opposing candle. So this becomes our future area of interest, demand zone, last opposing candle. So this zone that I have extended to right becomes our future area of interest. We'll now patiently wait for market to come back to our zone, retest, and then we will plan for execution. So let me run this trade and let's see what happens. Perfect. So what I see now is price retesting our zone. Do you think you would go ahead and buy from here right away? You could. That would be an aggressive entry. What I would like to see is buyers actually stepping in, a small pullback of that candle, and then I would like to see a closing above that pullback. So let's play this out and then see what happens. Perfect. So what I see, buyers actually stepping in, small pullback. All this selling are now absorbed by the buyers, and then buyers have been successfully able to close above our pullback zone. So this is where I would make my entry, and then my stop loss would be at the low of this area. Okay, so let's run this chart and see what happens. Okay, so we see that the market is now moving in our favor, and this is a win for us. Okay, perfect. Let me pause here. So great. So this trade has moved in our favor. So what we did in this trade, we identified a break of structure, then we marked our demand zone using the last opposing candle, and very importantly, we waited for retest. And the right thing we did, we didn't jump in, we didn't chase the price after displacement. We patiently waited for retest, and there we executed, and then we got this successful trade. Alright, so let's look into this last one. This one is from January 22nd. What I see is that the price is trading in a range, and then we see this bullish intent. And then we see that this bullish intent has created a break of structure. So as per our rule, we now go ahead and mark our demand zone using the last opposing candle, which I have marked here in rectangle to use it as my future area of interest. The best scenario here, what I would like to see is market push up and then market retesting our area, and then we would like to see a new high from here. Remember, we are not going to chase this impulse after the displacement. The best scenario, as I said, it would be pullback and then waiting for retest. Now let's run this chart and let me see if we got an opportunity. So what we see now is after the break of structure, we see a big follow through with a lot of candles having upper wicks and a strong rejection candle at the top with this strong bodied bearish candle. And we also see that instead of a new high, we are seeing a rejection. So this all things tell me that the behavior is changing, and this signals me towards bearish intent. But remember, intent is not a confirmation, and we are not going to jump into any bearish trade right now. Before we change our bias, we would like to see that the buyers fail to defend this demand zone. So let me run this chart and then see what happens. So now we see our demand zone has been violated. This is where my bias is now flipped. Now I'm going to mark this last protected higher low as a break of structure. We see a clean breakthrough of our demand zone by this strong bearish candle, which is confirmed now by this follow through candle. Next step in the process is go ahead and mark our supply zone using the last opposing candle. So we see here this small candle is our last opposing candle. Let me mark it using a rectangle so that we can use it for our future area of interest. Let's run this chart to see if we got an opportunity. Alright, so what do you see? What I see is a clean rejection at our zone, and this follow through candle confirms me that sellers are now in control of the price. So this is where I would like to enter at the closing of this candle, and my stop loss would be at this swing high. So let's run this chart to see what happened with this trade. Perfect. So we see that this trade moved in our favor in just one direction. So this is a win for us. So now if we were to talk about our risk and reward, this is where we entered our trade, and this is where my stop loss would be at the top. And I don't like to carry forward my position. So this trade ended up giving us 1:4 risk reward ratio. I like to be on trade that at least gives me 1:3 risk reward. So this is in our favor. So you see how this model helps us to stay on the right side of the market. What we did here, first we identified the break of structure and we marked our demand zone using the last opposing candle. We waited for retest, but what happens? The retest failed, which gives us a bearish validation. Then we mark the last protected higher low as our break of structure to the downside. We see a clean break of structure, and when that happened, we go ahead and marked our supply zone using the last opposing candle. We waited for a retest and we got this winning trade. So you see how this trade was similar to our last trade, but in this trade we had to change our bias because of the break of structure, because of the violation of our demand zone. So this is how this model helps us to stay on the right side of the market. So that's it from today's video. So if you find this video useful and learned a new perspective of seeing things in the market, please like, share, subscribe and comment. Thank you, and I will see you in the next one.